My career in Maritime's changed my life because it's allowed me to see things that people don't see every day. It's allowed me to meet good people and expand my knowledge and my experience.
Don't be put off by what you think a stereotypical career in maritime might look like. There's lots you can get involved in, and it's a really exciting industry to be in.
My name's Jay Crichton, I'm 27 years old. I'm an electrical engineer at the Peelport Group in Liverpool. When I was in school, I never knew what I wanted to be when I was older. My dad's technology teacher suggested doing engineering. Peelport have supported my career development by allowing me to do on-the-job training and on-the-job learning by going back to college one day a week to do further education.
Well, Jay come to us, she had some previous experience, but she's done really well to pick up on our own bespoke technology, if you like. Fitted in really well. We've had quite a lot of apprentices and trainees that have won awards. They get all the support from the business that we can give them. I'm a prime example myself. I was part of the development scheme going back to the late 80s with the apprenticeship with the old Mersey Docks and Harbour Company. I've obviously progressed up the chain. I'm now a manager, been a manager now for nearly 20 years on this site.
My name is Olivia Baden and I am an associate solicitor in the commercial team at Bradners.
Liv has been an excellent training, absolutely fabulous. She's working her way through the career ranks very quickly, which is a clear sign of a lawyer performing.
Before joining Bradners, I hadn't done any sort of maritime-related work, and then having the opportunity to do a secondment at Peelport has really made me realise how much of an interesting industry this is.
There are so many entry points and ways into the maritime industry within the Liverpool City region, from apprenticeships at businesses like Canal Airs or Peelport, in the traditional roles that you might think of when you talk about maritime, to roles that are office-based, working for shipping lines as customs clerks or administrators. We are seeing huge changes within the maritime industry that are bringing about a green revolution, but also a shift towards technology. So there are great opportunities for young people to be part of that and to drive the agenda forward.
Some of my friends work in 9-to-5 offices, which isn't the lifestyle for me. I don't want to be sat down at a computer desk. I want to be out there, hands-on, learning different skills every single day.
Whenever I speak to people about this job, they always say, I'd never speak about my job like that. You must really enjoy what you do. Yeah, it makes you realise what you're involved with when you speak to other people who are sort of like stuck at the desk.
Kieran Martin, 19, and marine technician. So I was working in a pub before. I didn't really want to do it for the rest of my life, cleaning up dishes. I met someone from here and they said, look, there's a marine engineer apprenticeship going. So I got interested, went for the interview, and luckily here I am today. I've been on the likes of SD Victoria and aircraft carriers that have just been brought in. I've done jobs, loads of different experiences that you won't get anywhere else.
A career in maritime can take you internationally. We deliver services to the Royal Navy, so we support movements in and out of the 3 ports in Portsmouth, in Devonport and Clyde. I've been linking up quite heavily with local schools to make sure we've got amazing careers for people coming into the maritime space, which is one of the most exciting places to come and work. Certainly I really want to shout about and want to make sure that other people get to know about.
I am Tom Courtier, I am 28 years old and I'm a mechanical engineer at Kinetic. My role here is very varied. I'm a mechanical engineer by trade, but I also do a lot of scuba diving here. I'm involved with a lot of hands-on work with the tools, underwater and above water, and also do a lot of design work. From university, I was applying for jobs, and like anyone else, I put in tens and tens of applications. Kinetic was actually the first company that came back to me, and they offered me the job the next day. being really keen, I took it straight off their hand.
It's great having the youth coming through. For a young person thinking about a career in maritime engineering particularly, there's a couple of main routes. It covers a wide range of abilities and interests. I started work when I was 17. I applied for an apprenticeship through the Ministry of Defence. I've been here 41 years today. Some people would say, how can you maintain that interest for that long? I think the variety of work in Kinetic is such that how can you fail not to be interested?
Maritime is an exciting option for young people. You could be the captain of one of the biggest vessels on the water. You could be designing a new super yacht. You could even be someone who's going to unlock new technologies to help our oceans. It is an industry which needs to draw on the talent that we have today to help us shape the industry for tomorrow.
It's a no-brainer to have one of the leading maritime education centres at the hub of maritime activity in the United Kingdom. At Solent we have a one-stop shop for maritime education. We have one of the best simulation centres in the world, and in addition to that we have state-of-the-art classroom facilities for all our students. In today's day and time you need cutting-edge technology to cope with the latest that's out over there. It is an industry that offers equal opportunities. So if you have a dream, then the industry is awaiting you, and we will welcome you aboard straight away.
My first aid, my firefighting, my sea survival, all of them qualifications used within everyday life. Age of 16, I've been given them opportunities and taken them on board, and it's definitely set me for life.
I wouldn't be doing certain things without being here at the job. I mean, especially with the scuba diving, I probably wouldn't be a diver without coming here. And to know that the work we do is contributing to lives at sea is very beneficial. We touch on a lot of things, but it's barely a tip of the iceberg in the maritime industry.
What I love about the maritime industry is I love the water. It keeps me by the ocean, which I really love, and it's got the potential to take me all over the world, which is a really exciting prospect.
I was quite worried in my last year of school because I knew that I didn't want to do A-levels, and I knew that I wanted to get an apprenticeship. So I'm really happy that I was confident enough to believe in myself that I could actually achieve it.
My career path didn't start in maritime. I started off as an outdoor education instructor and decided I wanted to do a bit of a different career path. So I found a love in electronics or electrics, just building camper vans for a hobby. And after doing a bit of work experience down here, they offered me almost like a traineeship, so they tailored that to myself. And through that, I've gone away to do my various qualifications.
Bex actually approached us about joining the company. She showed interest in becoming a marine electrician. She came to us for a couple of weeks trial. We liked what we saw, so we decided to work out a programme where she'd join us in an apprenticeship training scheme.
I've never had any sort of barriers. I've kind of always believed that if you give something your absolute utmost and you believe in yourself, you can achieve anything you really want to.
Young people, I think, are the bloodline and the future of the company.
My name's Joe, and I'm a first-year marine pipe fitter at Bath International. I'll say the main benefits is that you're gaining invaluable qualifications as well as a competitive wage. From the first day we've been supported in college. We've had lots of help in the workshop. Finding the task hard, you can get all the support you need. I've never been a big fan of math, however, I've been helped quite significantly. I'd say it's been very different from coming from school straight into a working environment, because I've got to work with people at different ages who've had different experiences themselves. So I think that really helps when you're in the working environment together.
We tend to target school leavers as a general, but that's not a be-all and end-all. We take any age. We have already had some of our apprentices already gone on to being leading hands and first-line managers.
In the last 12 years, we've supported 35,000 youngsters from 14 to 16 years old with careers advice. Maritime adds more to the economy than both rail and aviation combined. Working in maritime is exciting, rewarding and unlike any other industry. With the sector expected to double its size to 3 trillion by 2030, you too can be a part of that sector that's quite literally leading Britain.
Responsible for enabling 95% of the UK's global trade, maritime touches every part of our lives.
It's really exciting for me to be able to know that I've got a place that I can call home and it's also a workplace for me. It's amazing. I love Cornwall, love my work.
And I have no regrets whatsoever of taking the apprenticeship, and I'm really excited to see what it brings in the future.
If you're at the same place doing the same job every single day, I can see how that get boring. It's been boring for me in other roles previous to this, but Kinetic has given me the opportunity to do a lot more than I've previously done in other roles. I'm the newest instrumentation engineer at Kinetic Hasler. I currently provide electronic and electrical support to any of the experiments or tasks going on site. I'm based here at Hasler 3 days a week, and I also work 1 day a week at the 5-metre wind tunnel at Farnborough, and I spend 1 day a week at a local college studying for my HNC. Previous places that I've worked have never really classed it as economically viable for me to have more training in the workplace. So it just goes to show that if Kinetic say they're going to do it, then it will get done. Since joining Kinetic, I've found no barriers. Everything I've asked for in regards to tooling, training, whatever I need, there's never been questions, it's just done. In my current role, I've ended up covering electrical support of pretty much every area that the site currently does. You don't just work on submarines or just work on carriers or just work on a model. Your job here is you support everyone. I've been allowed to work on a lot more than I could ever realistically look at if I'd stayed in my previous role. Until you do it, you don't know how much you don't know. What you want to do, you can do it.
What I enjoy about working at Kinetic is the diversity. There's a lot of different things going on within certainly my role and the team members within my role. You could be soldering 1 minute, building, testing the next minute, and going on trials in foreign countries the next. We do hydrodynamic testing here for our customers to make sure that they have a vessel that is safe for all the crew that are on board and manoeuvres in a particular way that doesn't cause any hazard.
I've worked on a number of different projects. It's really great because you get to see something come into fruition, because you take something from an initial design and you can steer that right through to the end product. In all the companies I previously worked at, all you'd be doing is working on something that somebody else in your company made. So this has been a great opportunity to be able to work on quite a diverse range of projects and different roles. The work we do is broad, right from the work that Lloyd's doing at Hasler, right through to the in-service ships and submarines. We do a broad spectrum across the group. If you're prepared to not sit still, then there's an amazing development path ahead, and that's up to you whether you take it.
Since joining Kinetic, I've found no barriers. If you've not done something before, it's always going to be interesting. This job allows me to do something different every single time. If you're willing to put the work in, the amount that they're willing to give back, it's almost limitless.
Hello, I'm here this afternoon. It's Lorna from Maritime UK, and I'm here this afternoon with Amelia and Hebe. Amelia, can you tell us your full name, who you work for, and what your job title is, please?
Hello, my name's Amelia Gould. I work for BAE Systems, where I am the Naval Ships Combat Systems Director.
Fantastic. And Hebe, could I ask you the same question?
Hello, I'm Hebe Wright. I'm currently in Naval Ships Combat Systems and working on a project called Maritime Multilink as the Assistant Project Manager.
Fantastic. Okay. So our first question was, what drew you to the maritime sector? Amelia, can I ask you first, please?
Yeah, as a child, I was always interested in sailing, and I found out that I could go sailing for 50p a week if I joined the Sea Cadets. So I joined the Sea Cadets so I can continue sailing dinghies, and that drew me into the Navy, who sponsored me through university. And I've never looked back since to have a career where I could still be on the sea, stay on the sea and support the sea. Has been fantastic.
Wonderful. And Hebe, same question to you. What drew you to the sector?
Unlike Amelia, I was never particularly drawn to the sea, but I've always lived by the sea, being southern based. And it was the apprenticeship scheme that really drew me in. So it was more the defence sector I was interested in the first place. And then the fact that every single day I can enable our Navy now to go out and protect our nations is just makes me really proud. So I enjoy being in the maritime sector, but I was never like looking for a job in the maritime sector. I've always enjoyed the defence industry though.
Yeah, in my experience, people don't recognise what the maritime sector is, and that's what my job's all about. Yeah. So anyway, we'll move on to the next one. So Amelia, you said you started with the Navy. So could you describe how you got that first position, what your entry point was, please?
So I joined the Navy, as I say. I applied for a university sponsorship, and they sponsored me through university to study my engineering degree.
Okay, so were you 18 at that point?
I was, yes. Yeah. In fact, I passed my Admiralty interview board on my 18th birthday and got dunked in the pool to celebrate.
Fantastic. Then you knew you were in the right place. Yeah, this sounds like fun. And so, Hebe, what was your entry point? What was your story?
My entry point was straight out of college. I joined BAE Systems on their 5-year project management degree apprenticeship. So I started with BAE Systems about 6 years ago now. Excellent.
Okay. And next question then. So Amelia, what's been your career highlight so far?
Gosh, that's a really hard question because there's been so many. I mean, probably two I'll pick out. One from being in the Navy and returning back on HMS Ark Royal, an aircraft carrier, after a long deployment, which included the war in Iraq, and just seeing, so many people lining the seafront in Portsmouth with waving flags and welcoming us and just really celebrating, which links to the second one, which is the job I do now, supporting the Navy, of seeing ships sail with equipment we have designed, engineered, fitted, and making sure that they sail off and do their deployment with what we've done is just always a highlight, and hearing how they're using them and keeping safe because of what we do is a massive highlight every day.
Amazing. And Hebe, what's your career goal?
So this question, I guess for me, I've always been quite goal orientated. So I've got like short-term goals, long-term goals. So medium term, I guess I really would like to manage a project of my own in the next few years or so, whether that be short, small or big. I'd love to take on a big one, probably go start with a small one though, obviously. But actually one day I hope to be a director myself. I want to make sure people are looked after and we deliver to our customers what we are so passionate about. And that's what I hope to do one day.
Fantastic. And Amelia, who's been the most important person in your career journey so far?
Wow. Obviously at home has been my husband, helping me through my career, supporting the children and being around. We have a very balanced relationship, how we support the children, looking after each other and sharing them, which has enabled me to continue, doing my job and everything else, and him managing his career. And at work, probably the people who've put faith in me and given me jobs that I never thought I'd be able to do, and showed that I could do them.
Fantastic. And Hebe, same question to you. Who's been the most important person so far?
So I'd say at home, initially it was my uncle. He inspired me into the business world of things. Not a lot of my family are in corporate business, engineering or anything. But at work, it's actually having a mentor. So I very early on knew I wanted to be a leader one day and like enable a team and make sure I can deliver. But actually having a mentor to then bounce ideas off of and get different perspectives, get like pull on their experience, really like helped my development along in the last few years. So yeah, I just got to thank some mentors that I've had across BAE Systems now. They're really beneficial and absolutely amazing people.
And you'll be a mentor as well one day as well, I assume.
You never know.
Yeah, it's in your list. I bet it is. The last question, what would you tell your 16-year-old self if you could? Amelia.
Don't be afraid to say yes to things that terrify you, and say no also to things that you really don't feel are aligned with what you want to do. So basically, really think through things. If you gut, go with your gut.
Yeah, trust your judgment. And Hebe?
You'll have challenges along the way, but just stay determined, stay focused, is what I would say to myself.
Fantastic. Thank you both for your time. I really appreciate it. Hi, it's Lorna from Maritime UK. I'm here with Abby, who's going to talk to us about her apprenticeship. Hi, Abby.
Hi, I'm Abby and I'm the Digital and Events Apprentice at Maritime.
Fantastic. So, question number one, what drew you into the maritime sector?
So first I went to sixth form and I was in my first year, and one of my friends had mentioned they were going into an apprenticeship in maritime, and I started looking at what type of apprenticeships they had. And firstly, I started off at Peel Ports, so I was doing digital marketing there, and then an opportunity came up at Maritime to do digital marketing and events. And I'd done a few events at Peel and I really enjoyed it. So now I'm at Maritime.
Perfect. So you've talked about coming in as an apprentice. How long is your programme? How far through it? And when will you have completed that?
So I'm on a 3-year apprenticeship. I'm currently a year in and I've nearly finished my level 3 in digital marketing. After this, I'll be going on to my level 4 to do digital marketing. And then after that, I'll be doing an IDM in digital marketing, and then I'll have completed my apprenticeship.
Fantastic. So you're going to come out with a professional qualification?
Yes.
Brilliant. So what's your career goal, Abby? Who is Abby going to be? What would your dream job be in 10 years time, 20 years time?
So in about 10 years time, I'd like to be either a marketing manager, or as I've now just came into the event side, something to do with events. I haven't fully submerged myself into the event side of my career yet, but that is definitely something that I'm interested in as well. So either marketing manager and have a team that I work with, or an events sort of job.
Creating events is really good fun. Stressful, yeah, but really good fun.
Yeah, worth it.
So who's been the most important person in your journey so far?
Definitely my mum. So when I was in sixth form, I was a bit unsure about going to do an apprenticeship, because we were told that the only way you'd get a job is to go to university, do a degree, and then go from there. So I was a bit unsure, because none of my friends had really done apprenticeships and it's kind of new to me. So my mum always supported me. She was like, do whatever you want to do. And at the end of the day, if you don't like it, you can always go back to sixth form. I'm here to support you. And that meant a lot.
Brilliant. Last question. What would you tell your 16-year-old self if you could? What advice would you give yourself when you were 16 and making those choices?
I definitely tell myself to stop worrying about not doing the standard route. That was a big thing. I was always panicking about the thought of, imagine if everything goes wrong and I don't like it, just to go with the flow and to stop worrying. And if I didn't like it, it'd be completely fine. There's always something else. But thankfully, I've loved it, so I'm lucky.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much. Hello, it's Lorna Wagner here. I'm the Programme Manager for Careers and Outreach with Maritime UK, and I'm happy to say that I have someone with us today that's going to answer 5 questions in 5 minutes. So let's get started. Would you like to tell us who you are and what you do?
Hello, I'm Victoria Dittman and I'm an engineer officer of the watch. I've previously sailed on offshore oil rig sector. I've served in the wind farm sector, as well as now currently in the yachting industry, along with having experience in shoreside.
Wow, that's quite a list. Can I ask what drew you to the maritime sector in the first place?
So when I was 5 years old, I moved with my family to the coast, and I've been dinghy sailing, and now we do yachting. And we also, when I was 13, I was involved with the Sea Cadet unit locally in my local community, where I carried out drills and other activities along with engineering and sports.
And that got you hooked?
Yes, it's the uniform.
It's the uniform. Can I ask what your entry point into the sector was?
So I went straight from secondary school, and so completing my GCSEs, I went straight into Warsash Maritime Academy to carry out a high national diploma in marine engineering, along with my MCA tickets in order to work on board as an officer.
And was that the right thing to do at 16?
So I was so passionate and so driven for a career. I built myself into what direction I wanted to. However, academically and my age was not on my side. So therefore, I would recommend going to college and doing AS levels, A levels, try and build up or diplomas to build up a base or carry out water sports qualifications, powerboating, sailing, to get you established with what you're working on.
Excellent. And can I ask what your career goal is? Are you going to be Captain Victoria one day?
So currently at the moment, I am sailing as a second engineer due to the kilowatt power on the yacht. However, I am looking next year to do my second engineer's ticket, along with progress into chief engineer role. I do have yachting as in RYA qualifications, and I will eventually get my yacht masters. So on smaller vessels, I'll be able to be engineer as well as captain, maybe.
Excellent. And last question. So if you could give your 16-year-old self some careers advice, what would you say?
I would tell myself, along with everyone else, to stick at what your pathway is. Build up your stages of training, because the end goal is always worth it. Stick at college, stick into your studies, because the end result is amazing.
And believe in yourself.
Yes, the passion goes a long way.
That's fantastic, Victoria. Thank you for your time.
Struggling there, a boat. Oh, it's that surveyor thing. We want that out the water. We want that out the water the day. There you are. So I'll just point at the screen and get a few shots of that. 268.
A nice view up here, isn't it?
Aye, lovely.
Aye.
I'll just point at the screen what's that on your camera.
It's your camera.
Yeah, so it's, you've got a good view from here really when you clear the camera. Yeah. And you've got like 62 degrees on your boom there. That's in snail.
Even in steel, you know, it still runs fast.
Is that yeah? How much fuel you got? 50%?
Just have one. Gets through to 30.
Quite smooth, isn't it?
Yeah?
Quite smooth. Sort of. I only realise I'm moving by looking outside the window.
Let me just get squared up and square it off.
Just in the middle.
The photographer lad's just waiting to get off there, right?
If you could just do a bit on the joystick, move that to the right and the left, if that's
not
okay.
yet.
No, well, when it's safe to do so.
Right, you're safe now.
And then just a bit of movement on the. Let's get that zoomed out a little bit. Yeah, a bit of movement on the left stick there. If that's okay.
The other boys in working on their key.
Don't want to be happy. What is that?
Fender. What? One of the sausage vendors.
Good afternoon, it's Lorna from Maritime UK. I'm here with Noor this afternoon. Hi, Noor.
Hi, Lorna.
Hello. Can you start off by telling us your full name, what your job title is, and tell us who you work for, please?
Yep, so I'm Noor Kimmett and I'm owner of Seaworthy Consulting. It's a marine recruitment agency.
Fantastic. So can I start off by asking you what drew you to the maritime sector?
Yeah, so I actually graduated doing embroidery and I wanted to raise a bit of money to work as a designer in London because at the time I had to work for free. All graduates had to work for free and I stumbled along marine recruitment. So I thought I'd do it for a year and then go back into doing embroidery. And 9 years later, I am still in the sector doing marine recruitment.
Fantastic, but running your own business now.
Yeah.
So did you start out as a temp or was it a full-time job or?
So I started out as a recruitment consultant and I did that role for 4 years. I'd always wanted to be a businesswoman. So I had a few years ago, it was a kind of toss up between, do I go back into jewellery? Do I carry on setting up a business in recruitment? And then it dawned on me, there were so many vessel owners that were contacting me saying, where have you disappeared? We've got vacancies that no one can fill but yourself. And I realized there was a niche in the market. So I approached the Princess Trust, who are a charity that help young people to set up businesses. I completed a program called the Enterprise Program, and that helped me set up Seaworthy Consulting.
Wow, fantastic. So what's your career goal and what have been your career highlights so far?
So my career goal is to run a successful and honest and integral business within the maritime sector. My real policy and ethos is to be available and to advise clients and candidates both equally, because I feel like some agencies always sway towards business rather than giving back to our seafarers. And I always call them our seafarers. So my goal is to make sure that the business carries on gaining success and has a good reputation with the industry, because that's very important to me.
Fantastic. And your career highlight to date? What's been your best day?
I think the best day is when I posted up our second birthday and actually Anika and I, who's my colleague, dressed up in PPE. And I think on LinkedIn, we got over 1,000 likes and the nicest comments from both seafarers and from candidates. But there was over, I think it got viewed nearly 57,000 times. And it just showed that as a small business, you know, we don't need to pay fast amounts, but on social media, we're clearly liked as an agency. For me, that was a career highlight because it shows, whoa, I went from nothing to having an image that was viewed that many times. So it was definitely a career highlight.
So you went viral.
That's exactly it, we went viral.
Yeah. So who's been the most important person in your career journey so far?
So as I'd said previously, the Princess Trust have been amazing. It's not been an actual individual, but I am dyslexic and I was really afraid as a young person being dyslexic that I wasn't able to set up a business. And that's why I approached the trust to help with my dyslexia and to help implement stuff correctly in a maritime recruitment agency that was required. So the trust have been there for me from day one and have helped me to build up my confidence. So for me, having the trust as a charity to support a marine recruitment agency, and for me personally, has just been amazing because they've made me believe that you can be a young, successful woman and a young, successful person with a maritime business.
Yeah. Fantastic. And last question then. So if you were able to, what advice would you give your 16-year-old self?
So my advice would be to always say yes, because you don't know what's around the corner. I wasn't diagnosed with dyslexia till I was 19 years old. And I went on to do a degree in embroidery, again, because I didn't think I could read and write. I then couldn't get a job in embroidery, which is a sector that I absolutely love. And like I said in the beginning, stumbled across the maritime sector in recruitment. And if I hadn't have said yeah to that role, I wouldn't be where I am now. And I could no way have imagined myself being able to read and write emails to such a corporate sector. I mean, I now run an agency which is a corporate service. And if you would have told me that when I was 16, I would have never believed anything. I would have just laughed. So my advice would say, always say yes. You never know what's around the corner.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much for your time. Hello, it's Lorna Wagner from Maritime UK, and I'm joined this afternoon with Philip, Carilla and Hieronymus from Norton Rose Fulbright that are going to talk to us about their careers in maritime law. Good afternoon, all of you.
Good afternoon, Lorna.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Hello. So if we can start off by me getting you to introduce yourselves, please. Could you maybe tell us what your full name is, who you work for, what your job title is, that sort of information. Philip, could we start with you?
Yes, of course, Lorna. Hello there, everybody. My name is Philip Roche. I'm a partner here at Norton Rose in the shipping disputes team. I've been here for some 30 years now.
Wonderful, thank you. And Hieronymus?
My name is Hieronymus Pikaikis. I'm a shipping litigation associate with Norton Rose Fulbright in London.
Thank you. And Carilla, same question for you.
Hi everyone, my name is Carilla Bazinska. I am a trainee solicitor currently sitting in the transport disputes team at Norton Rose Fulbright.
Fantastic, thank you. So first question is, what drew you to the maritime sector? So Philip, let's start with you.
So I grew up in Banbury, which is about as far as you can get, but I joined the Navy at 18 and I did about 11 years in the Navy, and coming out of the Navy, I wanted to still use my nautical experience, so maritime law seemed to be a good option for me.
Fantastic. And Hieronymus, what's your career story been?
Yes, while I was doing my Bachelor of Laws, I really enjoyed commercial law. So when I was considering what to do for my master's, it felt natural to do shipping law because I'm from Greece. And after that, I became a shipping solicitor, and I've been doing this since.
Okay, that's fantastic. And Carilla, same question to you, please.
So I've had ambitions to be a lawyer since I was a teenager. So after studying for my law degree at Queen Mary University, I secured a training contract at Norton Rose Fulbright, where I chose to work in the shipping finance and now the shipping disputes teams, because we're really top tier in those areas. The work is really interesting. It's great to get to know all aspects of an industry, which is so important to our globalized world.
Fantastic. So all three of you have come in different ways, really, and you don't necessarily have to study law at university. You can do a different degree and convert. And I think you said before that that's the same for all careers, that you specialise further down the road. I want to talk to you about career goals and career highlights. So Philip, can we start with you? What's been your career highlight?
So, I mean, I've been here, as I said, almost 30 years. So there's been a lot of highlights. I won some good cases, dealt with some lovely clients, helped people out of holes. But and traveling, I've enjoyed traveling around the world, all sorts of strange and obscure places. But I suppose one highlight was going to Russia's top secret nuclear submarine factory, when we were helping with the salvage of the submarine Kursk, to help negotiate some contracts for building pontoons to help recover the submarine. That was a very weird and interesting week.
Fantastic. Do you speak Russian?
No, not really, no.
No, a little bit by the end of the week, possibly, I imagine. Yeah, there you go. Hieronymus, what about you? What's your career goal?
Partnership with a top shipping litigation team in London, I would say. Hopefully not on Rose Fulbright.
Wonderful. And Carilla, what about you? What's your career goal?
So I'm still in my training period, of which I have 1 year left. So my ultimate goal is to qualify as a lawyer at Norton Rose Fulbright, and of course to be a commercially minded and pragmatic lawyer for many years to come.
So you're still studying and still taking exams, are you?
I've taken lots of exams. Now it's the practical experience,
Right.
working alongside
Okay.
my colleagues, learning from them.
Excellent. Okay. So next question. Again, we'll come to you first, Philip. Who's been the most important person, or who have been the most important people in your career journey?
I mean, I suppose it was the people who opened my eyes to a career, that the fact that I could convert my history degree into a law degree and become a solicitor, and then those at Norton Rose who supported me, sponsored me through my time at Bristol Poly, and then some of the partners I've worked for who imparted great knowledge and wisdom and encouraged me on my way. I mean, too many to mention, I'm afraid.
No problem. Hieronymus, what about you? Who would you name as being the most important people in your journey?
I've been fortunate enough to work with many brilliant lawyers over the years, but I think the most important people to my journey would be my parents, who funded my studies to some extent to get me here today.
I'm sure they must be very, very proud of what you've achieved.
Hopefully.
They'll get to see this video anyway. Then they'll get to hear you say that. Carilla, what about you? Who've been the most important people on your journey?
I would also mention first and foremost my parents, who made the great sacrifice of moving to the UK in the 90s. So that's really key to where I am today, and also my colleagues at previous jobs who really helped me with interview skills and application forms and teaching me so much about the industry.
Fantastic. Okay, final question. Again, we'll start with you, Philip. If you had some advice for your 16-year-old self, what advice would that be?
I remember thinking I didn't want to do an office job at 16. I wanted to join the Navy and run away to sea. But I would say to myself, go and do that, and then go and convert to a career in law, because I've enjoyed both very much, and I've been very happy here over my time at Norton Rose Fulbright.
Fantastic. Hieronymus, what about you? What would you tell your 16-year-old self?
I would tell him the same I would tell him today, to stress less and no rush.
Yeah, okay, stop worrying.
Yes.
Yeah. And Carilla, what about you?
I would remind myself that everyone's journey is different, and although it's great to have a plan, those plans don't always work out exactly how we expect, but that's fine, and we end up where we're supposed to be eventually.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for shining a spotlight on maritime law for us. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
So my name is Artem, and I'm currently an apprentice at City Cruises. So it's a 2-year program, ultimately working towards my BML. So that's a boatmaster's license. And once I have my BML, hopefully with some training and some experience, I'll be able to crew and drive some of the larger boats we have. So I finished my A-levels, and then I joined City Cruises Pool. So it's another branch of the company over in Dorset. And I did 2 seasons in pool, so I enjoyed it very much. And then luckily I had the opportunity to transfer here to London as well. So that's how I ended up on the Thames. So I quite enjoy working on boats in general, be it City Cruises or, other things that I've done. Mostly because it's just such a variety here. So we have the larger boats, we have the jets, we have the dining cruises, functions, events, things like that. So it's quite a good variety. We've got different propulsion systems, so it's good for experience. And you get to meet a lot of people as well. So you get passengers every day, they're different. Occasionally we get some celebrities. And of course the crew as well. It's a lovely team. Everyone gets on with each other. We have a laugh occasionally, but when we need to be professional, we're professional. I think my most memorable experience here so far was when Manny Pacquiao, the boxer, he chartered out a boat. So we did a private charter for him and some of his family and friends. That was quite good, because we all had a little chat with him. We all spoke a little bit, took some photos. So as I mentioned before, it's just one of the perks of the job. You just get loads of people, lots of celebrities coming on the boats, and not in all, you can't really experience that with most jobs, to be honest. So I started off my 2-year program with very little experience, obviously, and then slowly we started working our way towards getting all the qualifications needed for the jet boats. So that involved going through the powerboat level 2 qualification, then we went through the intermediate powerboat qualification, and then ultimately the advanced powerboat. So once we had that, we had to get it commercially endorsed, and also we needed to do what's known as a local knowledge exam. So in order to be able to operate a boat commercially here on the Thames, you have to do the local knowledge. So you have to learn a large stretch of river, and you learn most of the things that stick out, most of the things that are in the way, such as buoys and piers, piles. So I've got through that, and now I'm working towards my BML, so boatmaster's license, in order to be able to work on the larger boats we have. So at the moment, as I mentioned, I want to get through all my training successfully, get all my qualifications, and then once that has happened, I want to get signed off on most of our boats, continue getting experience, and then hopefully become a safe and professional captain for City Cruises.
Hi, my name's Greg and I'm a captain at City Cruises. I was a mechanic. I used to fix cars before I started working here. Most aspects of the job, obviously driving the boats, we get to do commentaries and dealing with different people every day. I'd say my most memorable experience at City Cruises is when I got my licence. The progression's been quite quick. I started as an apprentice, moved up to mate quite quickly, and then within about 2.5 years I was made up to captain. In the future, just obviously keep progressing within the company and maybe be a captain on the flagship.
What is your most memorable experience at City Cruises?
Sorry.
Memorable, sorry guys. Start again.
Emerald Cruises is proud to present the newest member of our fleet, the Emerald Azura. We've redefined the sea cruise experience using all our skill and expertise of crafting the perfect river cruise. This 110-metre super yacht will carry up to 100 guests in high luxury on the world's most famous seas. The Azura has been specially designed to be able to sail right into the heart of the ports and harbours that only small ships can access. So when you step off the yacht, you'll be right in the heart of the town with the freedom to explore. On board the Azura, you'll find a range of 6 different stunningly styled suites and staterooms packed with special features and contemporary touches. Reflections Restaurant has been redesigned to reflect the oceans she navigates and boasts a selection of wines hand-picked by a sommelier to accompany lunch and dinner. And after days spent exploring, you can unwind in the Wellness Centre or work up a sweat in the gym with state-of-the-art equipment and a range of fitness classes. If you're looking for a bit of adventure, you can use the Marina platform and in selected ports, hire marina toys like snorkeling gear, paddleboards and flotation beds. The Marina platform also allows you to board our Zodiac and be whisked away on a selection of expert-led excursions. Back on board, the magnificent infinity-style pool is set at the aft of the yacht and is flanked by sun loungers and parasols, while the sky deck is home to the sun bar, with a spa pool and a large decked area that offers unrestricted views across the oceans she navigates. At every turn, you'll be met with high-end luxury combined with the inclusive, intimate Emerald Cruises experience.
Unique ports, hidden harbors, exotic cultures. Windstar's small, elegant ships take you off the beaten path and into authentic, immersive experiences. This is travel that gets you closer to the sea, the unexpected, and what you travel to find in the first place. Windstar Cruises, 180 degrees from ordinary.
I chose to do a marine apprenticeship on the River Thames because I figured it was an opportunity to better my education, beside that being able to earn a wage as well.
Like going around Plymouth, you know, like sort of seeing how it is and you know, outside of the Thames, learning on different boats.
The best part about the apprenticeship is just all the practical work, really, and just being out on the boat.
I've enjoyed coming to Plymouth this week, actually, in the sun.
Coming up to the final stretch today at the